Our guy's back. Dr. Alduan Tartt is in the building.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some important things for mental health right before the month is over.
Hey, let's do it. Let's get our mind right.
Yes. What about the person that's just at home trying to figure out if they're just having a bad moment or if they just had a bad day versus maybe there's something deeper going on? Like, how can you assess that? Is there a way?
Youth are very depressed, right? Like the nation is depressed. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Social media, what's going on in the world.
Yeah. And just not being able to be where you want to be in life, right? And then a lot of it is genetic. Like, things feel fine. I just can't get out of bed. I'm not able to be myself. So the way we ask is this is how you can know, get someone to find out how well they are. Just ask them on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your life? You'd be surprised how many people say 3, 4,
3 and 4,
5.
3 is I would have thought 6.
I mean, it could be any given number, but we smile.
Yeah.
We smile and we keep pushing. But if you actually go deeper, a lot of people will begin to tell you and open up. Like, I'm not sleeping. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. I'm lonely, whether I'm in a marriage or relationship or not. Right? I don't feel good. I don't have a good relationship with my kids. I feel like I go to work and I'm just there, but I don't know that people care for me or I'm not elevating. So if we combine all those different things, or just being in an environment to where there are a lot of people who have what's called golden handcuffs. They're at work and they get paid a lot, but they hate it. Yeah. And they're like, how can I leave this much money?
Yeah.
Right? Or they want to leave. The wife is like, you want to quit? What? I think not. Right?
But they're
you
miserable.
go back in there,
Right.
And so there are a lot of people that are just not enjoying their lives. And so that's where counseling and therapy can come in to get people to think differently.
And even sometimes it's just the expectations we have for ourselves. Like, maybe if somebody else was in our same position, they would be overjoyed, extremely happy. But sometimes we're so tough on ourselves that we put that extra pressure and you kind of make yourself unhappy.
Well, the goal is to grow, right? We're self-developing. So once you get to one level, we know part of well-being is progressing to the next level. So if you're not progressing and you feel stuck and you're not moving forward, what joy is that? Right? Now, there is you can be content and you can be happy, but the person who's content is usually someone who's in a constant state of growth.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen something that has been a big topic right now, the situation with Diddy and Cassie. So that makes me think about toxic relationships. A ton of people are in negative or toxic relationships, not just sexual, maybe even friendships. How does something like that affect one's mental health?
All right. So if you're in a negative relationship, and not just like Diddy and Cass, it's not even a negative relationship. That's an abuser with the abused, right?
Level,
right. And him praying and setting her up and a number of different people to take advantage of, right? Someone that preys on someone as a lifestyle. But there are a lot of people who can relate. They're in a relationship just out of habit or for the kids, and they're not happy in it. Right? And so that can easily affect your well-being. Now, one of the things is that we have to give permission to people. People don't know this, is that happy couples actually have a lot of conflict. Happy couples have a lot of conflict.
Explain that.
Well, because there's not a people pleaser in that dynamic, right? They're saying, hey, the way this is set up is not working for me, right?
Yeah.
You keep going out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't want to be here with the kids. Or I'm gonna tell my wife. My wife is doing well in sales, and sometimes she has to go train for like weeks to learn a new product, and I'm with the kids, right? And I'm like, baby, you're doing well. I don't want you to do that well, right? Long time. All right. No, babe, I'm proud of you, right? So we have to kind of work through it. And she was like, well, what about the times that I've had to do it? I'm like, all right, babe, here's the deal. If you can get our youngest daughter braids, so I don't have to do that hair, right? And we're good, right? And you allow me to bring in these babies to the tribe, right? And cool. All right. So, but being able to have healthy conflict in a relationship keeps you from being ignored. And this is the case for both men and women. A lot of times you'll have someone who self-erases themselves just for the good of the relationship because I don't want to nag, I don't want to bother them.
I was going to say that. How do you turn the difference in between? Because I'm one of those people that, like, I'm very outspoken in anything that I obviously have an issue with, but I don't look at that as being a negative thing in a relationship, but other people do. But I'm like, I'd rather just you say what your issues are and let's iron them out. I don't think that's conflict. I think that that's discussion.
But it's healthy conflict.
I'm the type of person that likes to discuss everything when it comes to relationships. If I have something wrong, I'm going to say, and I don't look at that as complaining or nagging, but I can see how one can, and that can affect their mental health. Do you think there is a way to be, I guess, positively combative?
Yes, absolutely, L'Oreal. So how do you say it matters? So if we come out as a complaint, we're going to automatically get defensive. You never take me out to eat, or you're irresponsible, right? And we start looking like for 4 things. So you're looking for 4 things that actually start arguments when you're really trying to change a relationship. 1 is criticism. 2 is defensiveness. 3 is contempt, where you're making like a character assassination of your partner. And 4 is stonewalling, where you kind of shut down. You want to stay away from those things. You want to replace it. And let's see how nice L'Oreal can be with saying it, saying your feelings as a wish. So say something that you really want, something you complain about, but I want you to say it as a wish.
Okay. I wish you would shut the fuck up. No, I'm joking.
I knew it was going to go bad.
Like
I knew it, right? I knew it.
I wish that you would, what's a complaint that women mostly have, texting back? I wish you would text back a little faster.
Okay, now add a feeling in it. So say, I feel blank.
Sometimes I feel ignored when you don't respond to me instantly.
And you need,
instantly.
And you need me to do what?
And I need you to respond when I text you.
All right. So I don't want to make you feel ignored. See, the most important thing that I heard was how you felt.
Okay.
But a lot of times we talk in terms of like power and dominance.
Why you ain't texting me?
Right.
Well, why you ain't texting back?
Because I don't work for you, right? Automatically.
Look,
It comes out automatically, right? All right. But when you say you feel ignored, I didn't mean to make you feel ignored. It's just the fact that I'm busy. So how about we schedule time for me to check in, right? I do care about you. We just have different styles of how much communication is needed. And so when we teach couples to talk feelings versus just thoughts or commands or demands, they actually bond a lot faster.
So lead with the feelings.
And we're in a relationship because I care about you, right? And so I do care about how you feel. I don't really care what you think. I don't care that you think I should text back, but I do care about making you feel ignored. So it might be me saying, hey, babe, right now I'm working. Is everything okay? Can I text you back around noon?
See, and that is a different approach, because I could have took the other
tomorrow.
See what I mean?
So it's not about, so when you're just talking, how could you not have your phone for 4 hours? I can easily answer that. I'm busy. I don't check my phone like that. I don't.
But if you say that and it's a person like me, some people say that with me, like, your phone is always in your hand unless I'm busy.
Right.
And that's why I didn't text back. But I think the same way with people. I'm like, we see people, their phones are always in their fucking hands. So if you go like 5 hours without hearing from somebody, or they ignore, then obviously, but I don't think you meet them with like niceness after 5 hours. I think you're already just aggravated.
you wanna we can talk about this, but you wanna actually make sure that what's happening is real. Like we call it hostile attribution bias, where you come at someone in a hostile way, and you're biased towards hostility, but really they just didn't respond because they were at the spa. Right? So you want to ask, right? Or their phone was on silent. Like right now, I don't check my phone like on a regular basis. I'll check and see, but if I'm in front of a client, I'm not looking at my phone.
See, but people nowadays, would it be messed up is that you put the Instagram stories. So they'll look at your stories, but then won't text you back. And I do that to people too. And like when people call me out about it, I get defensive. But like it's weird because now that we're talking about it, I ain't think about it like, damn, well, I'll be pressing people over that.
You're gonna have to pay him $75 for this session.
I'm not giving him a dime. He still owes you for that mic.
I was just saying, I've been seeing this trending a lot this past week or two on social media, and it was basically asking a question about couples staying together for the sake of the kids and whether or not that's healthy.
No, not when there's conflict.
Okay.
All right. It's not the fact that the parents divorce that actually hurts kids. It's the amount of conflict that they see. All right. So if you're going to be in a conflictual relationship, it's better for you to go your separate ways, right? Because the kids are constantly seeing one half of them fight one another. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. And so now on the other end of that is if you're able to go to counseling and the kid's not able to see conflict and you're able to work through your conflict and learn how to fight right, actually learn how to connect. And the main thing that we see couples struggle with is they don't want to have influence. They don't want their partner to influence them. It's like my way or the highway, right? But you can't be good at a relationship unless you come in and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to talk to Kyle and L'Oreal, and I'm going to be open-minded to how they feel.
Right.
All right, we're going to be the new Morning Hustle team, right? And I'm coming in, right? I have to be open to accepting your influence as to how much to talk and how and when to pass. If I'm not open to that, if it's all about me, I'm not going to be a good partner.
Right.
All right. And so if you're looking to increase your relationship skills, all right, you have to be someone who's highly influenceable. Not so influenceable that you don't exist.
Yeah.
But you want to come in and say, well, that's how you feel. You want me to text back? All right, I'll go ahead and text back. All right, if it makes you feel ignored for about a month. All right, and then you should know that I'm good. And then can we stretch it out a little bit because I'm not on my phone like that. Let's find some place in the middle between me and you so that we both can be cool.
Compromise.
Compromise.
So what we're talking about kids, I did see something that was really sad the other day. I believe it was a kid. He was either 10 or 11 years old, but he was bullied in school. So a lot of the kids are getting depressed from things that are going on at school. How would you deal with something like that?
All right,
well, he ended up, he committed suicide.
See, one, parents have to advocate, right? I really wish schools would really enforce zero tolerance bully policies. And I see a lot of parents that just kind of accept, well, we can't give you the kid's name, and the parents know. You need to go up there and say, hey, I'd like to have my kid removed from that classroom or have the other kid removed from the classroom because we're supposed to have zero tolerance bullying. Two, we also have to teach our kids social skills from a very early age for them not to be a target. We have to kind of look and see, is there something that you're doing that is inviting teasing? Now, bullying is never okay. And then the third thing is teaching your kids how to actually be assertive. Like, what is the right language? How can you be assertive without being aggressive? And of course, that's different based upon your gender, right? And age, middle school, high school, it's going to be different. And actually teaching them how to express themselves, how to stand up for themselves, and when to ask, for the appropriate help. Because you can also be teased for telling, right? And so it might be, so a lot of the best schools actually have peer mediation where they get other peers involved and say, hey, how can the fourth graders help the first graders mediate this? Or how can ninth graders help sixth graders mediate this? Those are the best programs.
I think that's a good idea. I never witnessed that when I was in school where we had like our peers helping us out.
Right, but these are progressive. Peers. These are progressive schools that actually care, and like the schools that are actually best with bullying are actually the religious schools because they have a culture of friendship. Right. And so they actually have these boxes where if you see someone being bullied, like put it in the box and then we'll report it so that the culture knows if you're being bullied, other people are going to watch and report it because at this school, we have to make sure this is an environment that is safe and friendly. And schools that don't implement that, it kind of go run amok.
See, I always just told my kids, like, yo, fight back. Like, you have to fight. Like, I know there's always that side of the argument that says, tell your kids not to fight, tell your kids to tell somebody and say something first. But I'm like, you can do all that. But at the end of the day, like, you're probably going to have to fight at some point. You might as well learn how to do it.
There's a step before that.
He's also an Aries, and they're not allowed in certain clubs.
Oh, there it is. So Kyle going to set it off. It's the step.
That's funny.
It's a couple of steps before that.
That was a throwback to an earlier conversation this week.
That was another conversation. No, but you should, and I got this from doing reality television. You should be able to work out any instance or a difference or a problem or altercation you have with your words. It doesn't have to be a physical thing in a physical situation. And this is even, I had to explain this to somebody, doesn't have to do with stronger or weaker or whatever. It's more about the mind. And I know that there's people that may not be as tough as this one, but he don't mess with them. And it's because he makes it clear, I'm not going for that. I don't tolerate that.
That is perfect. It's your ability to talk assertively.
Yeah.
Right? Aggression is the last resort. Now, there are times someone's jumping you.
I got this in the wrong order.
See, right. Kind of person get to the office and they be like, well, I ain't know that. My bad.
No, listen,
right?
because
Doc, you thought it was me.
No, because I'm not good with the back and forth with the words part. Like, I literally would just, oh, okay, that's what it is. all right, I guess we're fighting then.
That's a mental health challenge,
What
Kyle.
you're talking, what Kyle is talking about is actually called flooding. All right, when our heart beats above 100 beats a minute, we get flooded, right? And physiologically, it takes people more time or less time to get there.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that you can do proactively, since you know you go 0 to 100 real quick, is that you're going to have to go the
just back in
opposite
you should
direction.
see what he did the other day, Chad.
Whatever.
Okay. I need to see the tape. But like, you can do yoga, you can do meditation. All right. And because these things actually slow down your response to aggression and anger, right? Because you're actually learning how to slow your heartbeat down, how to calm down. And so when we start looking at exercise, we start looking at yoga, we start looking at meditation, after like 2 weeks, you're going to find yourself actually being calmer.
Oh, I'm
so
gonna
what
do that.
you used to get upset, all right, you're going to find yourself actually not getting as upset because you've changed the physiology of your brain.
But what if it's like, because like with me, I could be fine and it'll be one person that walks in this door and triggers my whole entire mood. And like nothing, and I'm very strong-minded when it comes to certain things, but if I don't like you, I can't there's almost nothing I could do.
Well, you know what? It depends. Like, if you know you're easily triggered, have you unpacked some of the things that people step on?
It'll just be this one person. I'm talking about a particular person.
Well, then being proactive and getting intervention versus waiting on the conflict to happen.
So
you see what I'm saying?
So approach why I hate this person.
Well, basically, yeah, and how to express that. So say we're talking corporately. Like one of the things that makes me upset is when you come in, you like don't know what's happening.
You like feelings.
You want me to be weak.
Aren't we? I'm glad you said that, because aren't all we are is feelings? When we're arguing and yelling and screaming, aren't we talking about anger? Aren't we talking about disappointment? Aren't we talking about frustration? Aren't we talking about vengeance?
But isn't that kind of like if you confront somebody, aren't you giving them the key to be able to push your buttons again?
Well, not if what you're doing is actually setting a boundary. Right, by not saying something, you're actually inviting someone, because if you don't have a property fence around your yard, people are going to step on it, especially in corporate America.
That's true.
But if you say, hey, I really don't like it when I'm the lead on this, and when we're in the meeting, I asked you if you had any issues, and you walked in there in front of everyone else, and then you overtalked me like this is your project, and I would appreciate it if you would not do that again. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to correct you in front of everyone. And before we do that, I just want to make sure that we get on the same page.
You're really
that
good
I'm
at
not
this.
okay with that.
Yeah, you're really
Right? But
I think you know what you're talking about here.
There's a reason there's a doctor in front of
it's
your
a
name.
language. It's like we have to teach our kids, and we have to learn this language, because what happens is that we'll be aggressive, and then we'll come off in corporate America as aggressive, right? And then we'll end up not having leadership skills, all right? Not being calm under pressure. We didn't show composure, right? And it's one way for them to show us the door. Right, and there'll be times, especially with our kids or our spouse.
Yeah, I needed this lesson
if we
today.
bleed over on someone, so you got to learn. I'm trying to keep you.
It's Kyle that's the issue. He's fighting. He's fighting. At least I just fight with
That was
my
a long
words.
time ago.
Right.
That was a long time.
There's
in a
also
different
a
life.
thing called, I'm gonna help him out. Deflection is what's happening a lot of times over here.
Yeah, just throw something at them and it would deflect the fact that you feel. No. But there are people right now that are getting depressed because of they can't afford things and the state of the world. What is something that you would say to them if they were diagnosed with depression? Like, what would be the first step?
All right, let's just start. I mean, the first course of treatment is going to be surprisingly exercise and sleep, right? So exercise produces 5 chemicals that actually make you feel better. All right. And it actually shows the same efficacy as medication, sometimes higher. But when you combine sleep with exercise, with proper diet, right, and being connected to other people, you actually find that you actually have higher rates of recovery to depression than just therapy and medication. Really? Right. So we need to make sure the number one thing that we look for is actually lack of sleep. Right? The way we predict suicide, right, is we actually look for lack of sleep over a period of time.
Really?
Think about it with spies. Like, how do they get spies to tell? It's sleep deprivation over and over and over again. That's how powerful it is. And we have a lot of people that are sleeping 3-4 hours a night, 5 hours a night, right?
Yeah, that's
and
what
we need. So there it is.
For 20 years now.
If we can just get you to sleep 49 hours a week, right? Not only is it going to help you to live longer, it's also going to help you to have a better mood and be less paranoid. When we miss that 6th to 7th hour of sleep, that's where all the recovery happens in the immune system. That's when our mood is affected, right? And so
I could tell.
part of it, like if you've missed an hour of sleep you normally miss, you don't even feel the same. You're moodier for no reason.
Come on, it's like taking the chicken out the oven an hour early. Like, it ain't done.
Right. It's not going to be good. So you're in a relationship with L'Oreal, just make sure you go back to sleep. Go back to sleep for an hour, and then we can
That's
talk
what it
about it.
is.
That is
All right, I do
crazy.
need more sleep, though. Okay,
Thanks.
thank you for that. We needed this.
For
Mental
sure.
Health Month.
This is good stuff. Well, look,
Yes.
Dr. Alduan Tartt been giving us a great conversation today. Today, again, is the last day of May, the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. And if people want to follow up on some of the things you touched on today, maybe get some, therapy from you or whatever, how can they follow up with you?
All right, go to drtartt.com. I have courses for, to setting boundaries in relationships, getting over grief and loss, relationships, improving your marriage. Go to drtartt.com/courses. You can follow me on Instagram at Dr. Tartt, DRTARTT. And for those of you who want resources across the country, I want you to go to loveyourmindtoday.org, loveyourmindtoday.org, and get resources. They can link you up with mental health providers.
This is our in-house genius.
That's right. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything today.
Anytime.
For sure. It's the Morning Hustle.
We are the Morning Hustle.